I've got a Lenovo Thinkpad T460S Signature Edition from the year 2016. It's quite old now. It's 8 years old. It's done its time. It's probably time to retire it. But when you think about it, I've just put a 512 gigabyte SSD in there. I've just upgraded the RAM to the full size 20 gigabytes. So the only problem is the speakers are dead. They're really crackly. Have a listen to these terrible speakers. You hear how bad that sounds? Super crackly. Very distorted. Sounds terrible. Alright, so we've ordered some cheap Chinese speakers from AliExpress. Let's rip the speakers out, throw them in the bin, and put the new ones in. To start off, we're going to shut down the laptop, go into BIOS, and disable the battery. Press F1 to enter BIOS. Password? I don't know the password, so we'll just go into read-only mode. Okay, let's turn off the battery. Disable built-in battery, yep. And we have to take the power out. And if we want to re-enable the battery or turn the laptop on, we've got to plug the power back in. Now we can safely turn the laptop upside down and start removing all the screws. Before pulling the speaker out, remove the little plug. Notice that red is at the top of this speaker on the left hand side. Okay, before removing the battery, just undo the 3 screws to get the bad speakers out. This little ribbon here, this is where the battery is connected to the laptop. So the battery needs to come out down this way to release the connection. Alright, there seems to be 3 screws holding the battery in. 1, 2, 3. So we're going to remove those 3 screws now and remove the battery. And on the other side, on the right hand side, remove the 3 screws, unplug the speaker. That way you can remove the bad speaker. Make it easier to get the battery out. Once you've got the speaker on the left out, the battery will just lift up. You can follow the wire where it goes underneath these little tabs all the way over here, connected to the other speaker. Okay, so the 2 speakers are connected with 1 wire. Over and under and over and under. Jam it in there, all the way across. Over and under and over and under. Okay, we got it. Alright, so before we discard it, let's just line it up here and make sure that the new one is a nice match. Alright, so it seems like it's a nice match. The Chinese ones have got more foam than the original ones. You can see how damaged the original ones are. Actually resembles a cockroach egg. Let's look underneath the originals. 2 little pieces of foam and a bit of metal. A very different shape and a lot more foam. Alright, so we've plugged in the little JST cable, reroute the wires through the clips. Same down here, we've rerouted all the wire in. So now we can start, we said we'll put the battery in first before we start doing the screws. To get the battery in, come in at a bit of an angle to get underneath the little clips there. So if you come in at an angle, it's very easy to get under the clips and then you can just push down. The battery will be seated correctly there, and the screws will line up 1, 2, 3. And then make sure that your speakers are also lined up with the screw hole. And then this one here should line up as well. And when you line up the right speaker here, just keep consideration for how you route the excess wire. Make sure it's not hanging out of the case. After screwing your battery back in, remember to put a little bit of tape on here. I guess that's to stop anything from shorting out your battery. Now that it's all back together, it's time to put the case back on and screw it up. All back together, plug the power in, let's see if this thing works. Okay, very strange that the speakers are muted. Very strange. Oh, sounds good. Let's go and play something online and see how it sounds.
Brakes are good, brakes are good. Oh, cartwheel.
And look at the speakers that we took out of the laptop. Look at the damage here. The little molding around the speaker, it's disintegrated. And the same thing has happened to both speakers, the same fashion. Where is the rest of this piece? It's vanished. Unbelievable. Dolby surround sound? I don't think so. I think this is a case of cheap Chinese speakers have been replaced with cheap Chinese speakers.